everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Guru Room Show. And for the Guru Room Show today, we got a great guest. He is the one who made the Human Hibachi films. They're very good horror films. If you haven't seen them, I mean, for people that are new to horror, a warning: they are gory, but it's very well done. And I'm talking about Mario Sir Cerrito. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters, as you could tell. I am the host of the Guru Room, and my interview with the maker of the Human Hibachi films will be coming up very soon. I am Rocco Cross. This is my Guru Room, and welcome to my nightmare. Okay, thanks for taking time out of your night and welcome to the Guru Room Show.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. So, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, what drew you to want to make films?
So I was always a creator at heart. Ever since I was a little kid, I would, come up with crazy stories. At one point in my life, I might have been 9 or 10. I was making haunted attractions in my parents' backyard.
Get out, yeah. Really?
And I would get the neighborhood kids to come through. So I always knew there was something going on. I just never knew that it was going to lead to movies, So that's kind of how it all started. Yeah. Storyteller. And then, eventually when I became an adult, I wanted to get my stories seen. And that's kind of what led me to what now. So.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So when you were doing these haunts, was that when you were still living in Philly yet?
No, so we had moved to Jersey. So we were over, where Audubon, New Jersey is?
Yeah.
It was right over the bridge. And when my parents got a backyard back there, and my dad was always into building, he would build creatures that we put in the front yard. Yeah. So I saw what he was doing, making them things in the basement. So that's kind of where I got my ideas. And then I would go ahead and do my own thing. And it's kind of where it all started, was that creative energy started when I was I think I might have been 8 or 9, so yeah, that's where it really started.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have to it seems like all the South Philly Italians moved to Jersey now. Is that true?
Yeah, right. Washington Township's a big hub. Yeah. They sick of the city and they moved to Jersey. Yeah, exactly. But
I'm probably one of the rare breeds that are still in
one of the strongholds, right? That's funny, man. But yeah, a lot of them moved out. But the city's a great place, man. It really is. My whole family was from there, and we would go visit, and it's got that stigma about it that you just gotta love. I mean, South Philly is a great spot. I mean, it really is. Certain spots,
isn't it? That?
Yeah, it is. It is. So,
and how's the food there? Because South Philly was always known for its homemade Italian food. So is the Italian food good in Jersey too, in South Jersey?
Certain spots, you know what I mean. You got to get the right spot. It's got to be authentic. If they're calling it sauce, it ain't good. It's got to be called. So you know how it is. If they have gravy, it says gravy on the menu. It's a good spot.
I thought that was just an Italian thing. Only Italians called it gravy instead of sauce. But then, I went out to eat in certain Italian places, and they were outside of Philly and Jersey, say Maryland or something, right. and they'll call it sauce. When you say gravy, they think you mean like the brown gravy.
Yeah, that's a South Philly thing. The whole gravy thing's a South Philly thing. Yeah, even if you go to New York, they'll call it sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nuts.
I know.
Stuck in South Philly, the gravy thing.
Well, I mean, New York calls their sandwiches subs instead of hoagies. So yeah,
called hoagies, they call it subs, and I think there's a part of Jersey that calls them heroes or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's kind of how I got my start. And then, when I was like, I think I might have been 23 or 24, I started writing screenplays. So
Wow.
yeah, I wrote the screenplays, and then I didn't know what to do with them because I had no formal education in film. I didn't go to film school. I didn't get trained by anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just kind of put them away. And she was my girlfriend at the time, but now it's my wife. She read it. She's like, "You should get this made." I was like, "Get it made? I don't know how to make a movie." I mean, I had no clue how to make a movie. So that's kind of where it got started. I started, one by one, reading and training, and that's kind of where it all took off for me.
Wow. Okay. So, like, what was the first film you ever made? Was it a horror film?
The first one that I ever did, you
Yeah.
said? Yeah, so that was back in 2013. I did a low budget film called Deadly Gamble. It was like a thriller slash horror.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, that I did on like a $10,000 budget, and it actually got like worldwide distribution. It got signed out of a distributor out in LA, and it went on like TV, cable television, all the on demand platforms. But yeah, that was like my start, and then that's when I really was like, oh wow, this is real, because I saw a company sign it and then put it
Yeah.
out, and then you start making a couple bucks, and I was like, oh, this is for real. And that led to another movie I did in 2015 called The Listing.
Yes.
That was like another horror thriller kind of thing. And then in 2018, I did what really took off for me was this whole Human Hibachi franchise thing.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, it's off the wall, man.
It definitely is.
Yeah, off the wall.
That's why for anyone getting started in horror, like, you have to warn them about that it's not for the faint of heart.
No, what's funny is like it's so the reason I came up with it was because I knew I had to do something totally off the wall and like extreme to really. What happens is, like, when you're doing these films, like the first two I did, you get caught up in what I call like a cookie cutter film. So they're all kind of like every other person out there is doing the same kind of shit.
True.
So then I'm thinking, how can I be different? How can I do something that's going to stand out? And that's why I did those, because now the title alone is going to make people say, what is this about?
Yes.
And so then then you got to do all kinds of crazy shit in the movie. And so yeah, I mean, it more falls along the lines of what they call like extreme horror cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a whole genre called extreme horror, and that's kind of where it's fallen. About Trauma, they're the ones that signed it. Yeah, so
Lloyd.
Yeah, it's got that like dark comedy, horror feel. So yeah, I mean, and they did well for me.
Sweet. Like, I actually I got like a little small role in this low budget horror film called Daisy Die. It's like filming now.
Yeah.
And Lloyd Kaufman is actually in it. And the scene that I shot 2 weekends back, I had the scene with him, and I actually got a chance to like talk to him and hang out with him, and Lloyd Kaufman is like the nicest guy.
Dude, he's cool, man. Yeah, he's super down to earth, and he's just a great dude.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a dream of mine too, because growing up I loved like their movies. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course,
so,
yeah.
I remember when I did my first two films, I was like, yeah, these definitely aren't like Trauma material, so I'm not even gonna bother like hitting them up to try and get it signed by them. So then when I did Human Hibachi, I was like, yeah, this is probably up their alley, and I sent it to them. They wanted it. That's kind of how that happened.
I have to ask, like, what inspired you? Like, how did you actually come up with making a horror movie called Human Hibachi?
Yeah, so I get asked that a lot. So just because it is so outlandish. So I was out at dinner with my wife and my brother-in-law, and we were at a hibachi restaurant, and we were all drinking, having a good time, and it was probably around like 11 o'clock. It was getting late. Might have been like 10:30, whatever. We're like, dude, wouldn't that be crazy if this place just shut the lights down on us and like they just went wild and started killing us, and then fed us to the people tomorrow? Like, kind of like put us in the fridge, and then they fed us to the people tomorrow. So then my wheels start turning. I'm like, that sounds like a good film, dude. And that's kind of how it got started. You know what I mean? That's where the premise, so the story was born there. And then, I think I sat on it for about a year, and then I wanted to make a new movie, and I was like, let me try this idea. And then I wrote the screenplay, and then, you got to embellish it and add your own stuff in there. But
well, yeah, of course.
yeah, that's kind of how it really was born, was in a restaurant. And that's how most of my movie ideas are born. It's usually like real life stuff. Like I used to sell cars. And at one time I was in the back of a car with these two foreigners, and it was a coupe. So I couldn't get out. So I'm in the back, and these guys, they're test driving this car, and they're talking a foreign language, and they're speeding down the road. So I don't know if they're going to steal the car, kill me, and like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how one of my movie ideas was born, like, real life stuff. So that's where I get my inspiration. If something happens to me in life, I'll take that and make it like a movie. So.
Damn, that's awesome. I know, like I remember when that movie first came out, and I was like, Human Hibachi. I mean, I love eating that. Well, not
Right.
human hibachi, of course.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, this is so interesting. Like I'm curious to see what this is.
Right.
And I watch it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Shit. The sequel's coming out, and the sequel's like even it's different because it's in the woods. So now,
really?
yeah. So basically, just like a quick like rundown is it's a so you saw the first one. It's about these copycat killers that saw the first one, and now they want to make it even better. And what happens is two guys from the first one escape, so they're on the loose. Everybody else is arrested, but the two guys are out in the woods. So this redneck family is on the search for them. And if they find them, they're going to provide them with like this big feast. So that's kind of like, yeah. So they're like copycat killers in the woods. So that's
my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It just got nominated for Best Feature Film at New Jersey HorrorCon this weekend.
What, the second one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one won Best Feature Film.
Yeah.
This one just got nominated.
So how does that feel? Because I mean, this isn't your first horror film to win like best horror film at a horror fest. So how did it feel like the first time you ever won like a best movie in a horror fest?
Yeah. So that honestly, man, like that was one of the best feelings, because you're going against like films from like Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was a film that when you get the nominations, I was like looking up the other movies to see what they were. So the one movie was from Los Angeles. It was the budget was like $1 million or something crazy. You know what I mean? So wow. The film that I'm doing, the budgets are under 50 grand. So I'm like, how are we going to beat this movie? You know what I mean? So you kind of go in like, you go down to Atlantic City, you go to the HorrorCon, and then you're kind of, you go to the award ceremony. You kind of hope that you're going to get called, but you're not expecting it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. And then when you hear your name get called for Best Feature Film, and your family's there, it's very, very, it's surreal, and it's a great. It's one of the best feelings you'll feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Besides the birth of my children and getting married to my wife, that's one of the best feelings. So, with the follow up with the sequel, and it was just nominated again for Best Feature Film. So Saturday I'll find out if it wins, and if it goes back to back, that could go back to back, which would be crazy.
Yeah, so, I know exactly.
Yeah, dude. Wow. So, yeah, it's really so.
And like I have to say, like I want to know how you like edit the film and stuff like that, because when I watched it, it didn't seem like a low budget, like independent horror film. Like it felt like it was bigger than that, because the way the movie looks, like it's not. It don't look like one of those movies that are like cheaply made. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's probably what you just said is probably why it has gotten a cult following, is because of the effects. So, the money that I, got for the movie, I put into the effects. So how stuff looks like, it could be like a real, like that one where the torso is hanging in the fridge. That looks real. You know what I mean? So stuff like that is really where I put the budget into, because I knew it's a found footage film, so I could excuse the way it's shot. You know what I mean? I don't have to pay a big camera crew, so now I can put all the money into the way it like looks, gore wise. and that's kind of where the direction I went with these films. And then with the editing, I do it all myself, so I can take my time and really get it to where I want it. So yeah, it's kind of what's great about these films is I have like real complete control. So from start to finish, I have complete control of these movies. You know what I mean? I write them, I produce them, direct them, and then I even edit them.
Oh wow.
So yeah, whereas like the other films that I did, you have your camera crew.
Yeah.
You have like a camera guy, you got 10 other guys out there, so you don't have as much control, and that's what really makes these special. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah.
Nice.
So
And what scene did you like from the first? Like, I mean, I know you loved the film. I
right.
mean, you made it. So, like, is there a scene you like most from the first one?
Yeah, let me think 1 second. I would say from a director standpoint, the funnest scene was all the cannibals that were in the so they came from all over the country. You know, the guys that were in
Big
the
big dinner scene, right? Yeah.
So those guys, like they're some of the nicest guys you'll meet, like because I've known them for years. And I didn't know how that scene would come together because there was no rehearsals. So
Mhm.
it's like off the cuff. And I told the guys, I was like, listen, let's just make this scene comical and gross. You know what I mean? So it all, and that we shot that overnight. We shot that like after the restaurant closed down. We shot that from like 11 p.m. to like 7 in the morning. So like they were all tired, and it was
Wow.
yeah. But that scene was so fun to do, and that I feel like came together great. So that was probably my favorite one to direct. The one that I feel came out the best was probably I liked like the girl that's tied up and the butcher's pulling the intestines from her and all that, and that
Mhm.
was really cool to shoot because all that stuff's real. Like they're real intestines, and they're not like human intestines, but they're like from the butcher shop. I went to the butcher
Yeah,
shop.
really.
Oh, yeah, that's all real meat, man. Like yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
we go to the butcher shop, and so you got to make it look as real as possible. So all that's real stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's nothing fake about that. Like no CGI or nothing
No,
like that. It's like everything's real.
yeah, they call that they call practical effects. So it's real. It's like the torsos and all. Obviously, they're cast molds of people.
Hmm.
Any kind of like intestines and like you'll see like it almost looks like kidneys and stuff like that. That's all real. So you go to the butcher shop and you buy that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Then you throw into your Sunday stew after that.
There you
But
go.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, listen, you got to sell it. So, and people can pick up on stuff that looks fake, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
that. So that's the stuff you really got to make sure is right. So, yeah,
Damn. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
And with this new film coming out, part two,
right.
like, is there anything you can like say about the film? I mean,
Yeah,
you just said like what the film is about the two that got away and the
right,
family trying to feed them the feast. Like,
right.
is there anything you like best about like the second film that you can say without
Yeah,
saying much?
yeah. So we just actually shot a scene last weekend, I think it was, and it was a scene where all right. So this is probably my favorite. I wanted to add something that would be super memorable, so something that people would talk about for years.
Oh,
And
nice.
so what I did was I wanted to get where. So there's a stream like a lake where this house is in back of the house. And my idea was to chop off a guy's penis that they catch and use it as fishing bait to catch a bass. So they catch a fish with this guy's penis, basically. And, and that to me was the most memorable scene that I've done, and I feel like people are going to talk about it because it is the way it's done. It just looks so real, and that was like really fun to do, man. And yeah, you'll see when you say it, you're like, dude, that looks great. Yeah. And but yeah, I mean the film it's done in the woods. It's got like a Hills Have Eyes kind of
Nice. Nice.
woods kind of feel to it. So yeah, I mean, it leaves off for a third movie too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, way it ends, it brings in. You'll see at the end of it, you're just gonna be like, oh shit! Like then now a third one, and I'll probably do a third one, but that'll probably be it.
Okay.
It'll be a trilogy. I'm thinking so.
Damn.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And then I see like another movie is in the works called The House in the Pines, and assuming Pines, it's about the Jersey Devil, right?
Oh, it's based. It's not so much about the Jersey Devil, but it's based out of New Jersey, in the Pine Barrens. There's
Okay.
there is no like Jersey Devil stuff, but it's more so like your Pine Barrens, House in the Woods, kids coming fresh out of high school. It's more mainstream horror, but it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it gained. It's got the guy that he was a production designer on Nightmare on Elm Street. He's attached as a director, so he's done.
Really?
Yeah, he was the production designer. He like did all the scenes on Nightmare on Elm Street, and he did it on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Blade, all those big movies back in the day. He's going to be directing it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and one of the guys that did the effects, so he was like the special effects guy on The Blob, Nightmare on Elm Street. He's going to be doing the special effects. So we have like a great team built in. So I'm the writer and producer on that. So
Yeah.
because I kind of wanted to take a break from directing. So I hired him to come in and direct. So that's kind of where that's at. And that was just picked up by a studio in Florida that's going to be be producing it financially. So yeah, that's probably, I would say that's probably about a year away from being produced. So
yeah, because I was just gonna say like that movie's probably costing a nice little
the budget went up.
Change.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. Yeah, so something like that when the budgets go up, I kind of just like, all right, somebody else handle it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of and that's what's so cool about the Human Hibachi thing is I can handle it, and I do that.
Exactly.
And those films that are that I write, they'll go to somebody else, and then you just stay on as a writer or producer. So
wow. Okay. Nice.
It's a cool little process.
Yeah, definitely. What do you like doing during your free time when you're not involved with doing films?
Honestly, I'm a family guy, man. I love playing. I hang with my son. I got a 6-year-old that just loves playing. He'll play anything toy wise. He loves playing. I'm a big baseball fan, a huge baseball fan.
I know, I could tell with your hat.
And so he plays little league, so I'll play baseball with him. I got a newborn that's 6 months old, so I'm busy. You know what I mean, with the family and all that. I like fishing. I'm pretty basic, man. I'm home most nights with my wife and kids. So
okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I keep it simple, man.
Awesome.
I'm a wine man. I make wine.
Oh wait, you do?
Yeah. Me and my father and my 2 brothers, we make wine. So we've been doing that for man. My dad's been doing it for 20 some years, but I just started doing it the last 5 years. But that's a hobby, man, because you know what I mean. It's a whole process in itself. So
like, do you sell the wine and everything, or is it just for the family?
I handed it out. You know what I mean. I'll give you a bottle if we ever meet.
Yeah, definitely. What like, Italian person doesn't like wine, right?
Exactly. That's like our Corona, bro. I call it the Italian Corona, the red wine. Yeah.
Wine goes good when you're having a nice bowl of meatballs and pasta.
Right. Absolutely, man. Then after that, you keep drinking it. It's like Christ.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah. That's I'm a simple guy, man, and I'm always constantly coming up with like ideas. I would need 4 lifetimes to make all my ideas come into fruition, because I have I'm constantly thinking about. I just don't have enough time to do it. You know what I mean? I just don't. It's I'm a creator. I'm constantly thinking.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's crazy, man. But this weekend's a big weekend for us, because if we can win Best Feature Film again, that's really big for the franchise.
Nice. And that's going to be at that horror convention in
Right, Park.
Atlantic City, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. At the Showboat Hotel.
Yeah.
It actually starts tomorrow. It runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And my film screening on Sunday. Or I'm sorry, Saturday, and the award night Saturday night. So
Wow.
hopefully, I'm screening on Saturday for a reason because they know I'm there to win the award.
Well, if you win the award, you can always celebrate Saturday night. Alice Cooper's going
Yeah,
to be in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, man, they got the hotels right there for me. I would love. Yeah, that would be great, man. And again, like you go into it not like you don't expect something, but you kind of hope, So it's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like that. You can't expect it because again, I mean, there's a film I'm going against called The Barn. It's called The Barn Part Two. The first one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good movies. They're good movies, and this one has Lloyd Kaufman, and the second one it's got Ari Lemaine. I don't know, but he played Jason Voorhees.
Jason.
Right. So it's got the guy from Hellraiser who played Hellraiser. So
Wait, Doug
yeah,
and Bradley's in that?
yeah, he's in it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they got a strong. Right. So I mean, they're one of the nominations, man. So it's like you're going against heavy hitters, So,
Yeah.
kind of got to. You just go hope your name's called, and if it's not,
true.
you're nominated. So either way, it's a win-win.
Well, yeah. I mean, even to be nominated in like the same category, but if you won for the first one, I'm sure you win for the second.
I hope, man. That'd be so cool. Like I said, it's like it's kind of like winning the Super Bowl and then going back the next year. You know what I mean? That's what you know what I'm saying. That's kind of what it feels like. Especially it's because it's your home state. It's a New Jersey thing. So it's cool. So yeah, we'll see, man. I'll definitely let you know though.
Oh yeah, definitely do.
Yeah, bro.
So like, what are some horror films you love to watch?
Like my favorites?
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So, I mean, the first horror film I ever saw was Halloween, which is an absolute classic. And that's
oh my god, yes.
The shit. I mean, I might have been 10 years old when I saw that for the first time, and that made me feel a certain way. So I always go to that as number one. Now number 2 and 3, I'm probably gonna go. I love the Nightmare on Elm Street. I love that. So I'm a huge fan of the classics. Now if you want to go more underground, which I'm also a huge fan of, I take a lot of inspiration from Hostel. I love that.
They were great films.
They really were, and they don't get in. I mean, I want to say it's underground / mainstream. That's kind of in the mainstream, but it's still underground, really.
Yeah.
I like now, and then I also like psychological. Like I'm into like I people don't consider it a horror film, but Sixth Sense is such a great movie.
That was a really good movie.
It really is, and it's not like a horror film, but it's more psychological.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I never saw that ending coming. Like no.
But then now to get more into like underground thing, like Human Centipede, I think is phenomenal. People will tell you it's crazy, it's disgusting, but there's a reason why everybody knows that name.
I know exactly.
Everybody knows that name for a reason because of what they did. Yeah, so I have a wide variety. I don't get into like anything that is, and they are good, but stuff that messes with like religion, I don't like a lot.
Oh, okay.
So not that like Exorcist, that's fine, but I'm talking about stuff that's like real deep into like messing with like religion. I don't really get into, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty wide when it comes to horror. So, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre again, that's
yeah.
Yeah, there's so many, dude. I could go on all night. I mean, that's phenomenal. The original was probably the best, but a lot of people like 2003 with Jessica Biel, I thought was really well done.
Yeah, that one was really good. Like a lot of people was like, oh, I don't know, but like that That was
Yeah,
good. I liked
from
it.
a production standpoint, I feel like that was. I mean, listen, anytime they remake a movie, you're gonna get haters. I mean, just are.
Well, yeah, of
You know what
course.
I'm
Of
saying? But
course.
I feel like now, if that was like, say, there was no Texas Chainsaw before that, and that was the first thing you saw, it's a great movie. So,
Yes.
so I
I
know that.
100% agree.
Yeah, the guy that played Leatherface in that, I was talking to for some time. His name's Andrew Beniarski.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, he's from Philly. And I was talking to him for getting onto the House in the Pines, but we didn't really meet terms up. But yeah, he's a cool dude.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so yeah,
Oh,
that's for me for horror. You know, I'm wide. I like mainstream, but then I like underground stuff too. So
nice.
yeah,
Nice. And, with having kids, like, I'm sure Halloween's going to be a big
man.
holiday, big season.
Oh,
So,
man.
are you getting dressed too, or is it just your kids?
So all right, man. So to even touch on that, my son, 6-year-old dude, he loves, that place Spirit Halloween.
Oh, yeah. I love that store.
Oh, dude, last year, I swear to God, I took him 30 times. 30 times we went to that place. He knew it opened in August, and he knew it closed on November 1st, and we were there 30 times. He loves like anything like, yeah, I think he's taken up my footsteps because he loves, Halloween and horror and all that.
Nice.
Will I
Nice.
get dressed up? Yes, I will probably get dressed up. Will I'm going to be? I don't know yet. He's going to be what's the guy from Scream, Ghostface. That's what he
Oh,
wants.
nice. Yeah.
He's going to be Ghostface. My infant, he's going to be I think he's going to be a turkey. And it's a little turkey, dude. He's a little chubby little boy.
Oh my God. Did you ever see that Thanksgiving horror movie?
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving.
oh yeah, that's a classic too, dude. Yeah, thanks killing. Yeah, that what's funny is like you could a horror film, or you could get like a horror film idea from any holiday and like make it like a cult classic.
Oh
You
my
really
God. Yeah.
like the Easter Bunny ones. They have those.
I saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah, Easter Bunny ones. 4th of July. If there's anything for 4th of July, so that's an idea to explore.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
nothing for 4th of July, but you could definitely create something. But yeah, no, that's kind of what we're doing for Halloween. I love Halloween, man.
Oh
And
my God. That's my favorite holiday.
it's the best, dude. Like when the weather cools off and it's
Yes.
you know what I mean. So I'm thinking about doing something out back here this year because I got like a big backyard. So I'm thinking about doing like a haunted attraction, man. I don't know.
Nice.
Throwing it back to when I was a kid. I might do it now at my house. So
Okay. That's awesome.
yeah, something for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
like
dude.
me and my friends were talking about it. We're probably gonna do the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Love that film.
I know, me too.
That's another one that's like such a classic, and you really have to appreciate what they were doing to love that,
Hmm.
because it's outlandish, and
It's
it's just so outlandish, but it's so good. It's so. Is that what you guys are thinking about doing? Because they had get that at Spirit Halloween. Don't they got the whole
yeah,
cop
yeah. They
yeah
got the whole costume, the mask. They
right.
even got the
Guns and all too?
cotton candy gun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. Nah, yeah, that film. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's up there in one of my favorites too. There's so
Oh,
many.
I love that film.
Yeah, yeah. They were two
And
brothers that directed that. It was
yeah,
two
yeah,
brothers.
yeah.
Yeah, forget
And
their name.
they're actually making a video game now too of it.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
all. Yeah, that's so cool. I was thinking about making like some kind of card game for Human Hibachi, just because it's so crazy that I could create a card game or some shit, like some kind of like food based card game. You know what I'm saying? For people instead of like how they have those drinking games.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
would be like a gross food game I'm thinking about creating. So that might be
Yeah,
in the works.
do it.
Yeah, that might be in the works, dude. Something crazy, like something. I mean, cards, and you got if you mess up, you got to eat something. Whoever throws up first.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Definitely do that.
Yeah. After I do the third film, I'll probably do something like stupid like that.
Okay, okay.
Oh.
And what about songs? Like what's on your playlist? What kind of music do you like?
Ooh, songs. Oh man, so it's gonna sound cliche. I like Frank Sinatra. So
Okay, okay.
now, in terms of like when I want to get hype and like feel music, I go. Honestly, dude, like I'm a big '90s guy. Like I grew up in the '90s, so I
Yeah.
love like '90s. Remember like '90s club music and all that. Love that.
Yes. Yes.
But then that now I'm a big fan of EDM music. So
Oh yeah,
nowadays
yeah, yeah.
they have like big EDM music like Tiesto and Cascade, all that kind of European EDM. So it's like again, that's not mainstream. It's more underground, music where
Dang.
the regular person has no idea what you're talking about, but it's great music. It's great music. So it's I like EDM, and then if I want to just like chill in the car, I like 102.9, which is your classic
Mhm.
rock. Love
Mhm.
love classic rock. So all your what's his name, Skinner, all that
Oh
classic.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. ACDC. Well, all them guys, man. So I love
Oh,
classic. Sinatra is like my Sunday guy when, my dad's had that on for 35, 38 years since I've been alive. 38 years old. Every Sunday he's got Sinatra on. So
that's the thing, especially in a Italian house. Like you play him on Sunday when you're making gravy.
right. See, bro. Listen, that shit don't change from family to family.
It don't. It
That's all,
don't.
man. So that by default, I love Sinatra by default. So but um yeah, I mean, music is like, it's funny you mentioned music. It's like it's such a driving force in our world, because if you watch, I say, like, if you watch movies with no music in it, like if
Yeah.
you watched Halloween, the movie Halloween, with no music in it, it would suck. It would just be some, you know what I'm saying? Like if you watch Jaws with no music, it would suck.
Yeah.
Such a driving force. Like, and people, I tell people that all the time. Like when you make a film, making the film is like 40%. The music's about 60%.
Oh, definitely.
The soundtrack's about 60%. Really is. So music's so integral to our society. Really, I mean, anything, sporting
Like
event.
I know,
You know,
like you were saying with Halloween, like I don't think that Michael Myers would have been as effective if they didn't
nope,
have that
nope.
like if they didn't have that classic
It,
song that
uh,
everyone knows.
yeah, it would have sucked. So what happened is, the story behind that is, John Carpenter. They screened the movie, and I think they screened it with some other music in it or something, and it got bad reviews. It got bad. People were just like trashing it. And he went home. He was a pianist, or he knew I think his father was a pianist and taught him how to play the piano or something like that. And he made that dun, 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 dun. He made that overnight, and then they plugged that in. As simple as that sounds, it's real simple sound. It's just a couple of keys on the piano. They plugged that in, and it changed the whole complexion of the movie. That's how it happened. Yeah, because if they didn't have that in there to begin with, and then he went home and created that, and that soundtrack is that's what made that movie
Oh, it
epic.
did. It did.
It did.
Like everyone loved
Yeah.
that song. Like once when the movie was out, I mean, even now, like the newer kids, like when
Right.
they watch Halloween, they
Oh yeah.
they they want to hear the song.
It's epic, dude. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
timeless too. That's the other
yeah,
thing. So another great one is Nightmare on Elm Street. Like that whole soundtrack, like
yes.
that's epic. And music is so integral to a film. So I'm glad you brought music up, because I tell that people all the time, like, dude, if you don't have like a good vibe in your film in terms of music, it's gonna suck.
Oh,
So
definitely. I know.
so
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
And do you have anything coming up that you would like to plug? I mean, I know you got Human Hibachi 2, and
Yeah,
it's going to be playing at the Horror Fest this weekend. What's that called? The New Jersey Horror?
film festival. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. In terms of that, plug-in stuff. So Human Hibachi, the original one, that can be found all over. It's on Amazon Prime now, Vudu, Google Play. It's on all the main streaming platforms. Human Hibachi 2, I just did a DVD pre-order for back in July. Sold those out quick. I only did like 100 of them. I wanted to do like a limited DVD.
Yeah.
What I did was I signed the first 100 of them, and that's like a limited DVD thing. And then I send those out. So that one's pretty much past the order point. But now this film is probably gonna be coming out. What'll be in September? Probably early next year, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now. And then I'll probably make an official announcement if I put the third one into pre-production. So I'm not there yet. I might do it. I might not. So it's kind of where I'm at with that.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, I personally can't wait to see part two because I love the first one, and I'm hoping for a third one.
well, I already have the title down. It's going to be Human Hibachi 3 Street Meat. It's going to be about a food delivery service. Like there's the trucks that come up on job sites and all that. That's kind of where my head's at. So it's going to be called. I have the title. It's just a matter of getting the screenplay now. So it's going to be called Human Hibachi 3 Street Meat.
Oh my god, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Getting even wilder.
And where can fans follow you at?
So I'm on Facebook primarily, just Mario Cerrito the third. It's you see it's like a verified page. You see the blue check mark, but that's pretty much where I'm at. I had Instagram, I deleted that. Twitter, I'm not active on. I'm more so just Facebook, pretty much. Yeah, I'm real active on Facebook. I'll post on Facebook probably 3 times a week.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then all my pages are on there. The Human Hibachi pages are on Instagram and Facebook. I do have an Instagram page for Hibachi, so
Sweet.
Which is Human Hibachi, yeah. So definitely on there.
Definitely. Well, I want to thank you for taking time out of your night because I mean you got kids, you got a wife, so I appreciate you taking time out and coming on the show.
No, I appreciate you having me, man. It was a blast. Super cool to have some laughs. Talk to somebody that loves horror.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll talk in the future too, man. Keep
Definitely.
It sounds good, but
I mean, I definitely would love to have you back on once the second film is officially out.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is that's going to create a lot more noise too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely. Just hit me up. I'm available, man.
Sweet. Thank you.
You got it, Rock.
All right, buddy.
All right, take care, buddy.
Have a good one.